Hello, I'm going to talk about a lady who was diagnosed at age 74 with autism. I'm Dr. Beth Colby, a psychiatrist in London. The article I'm going to talk about is from the 27th of June 2020 from The Telegraph. The daughter of the lady who was diagnosed said that she and her sister just regarded her mother as super glamorous and fiercely intelligent, but that it's only since the diagnosis of autism that she realised that her mum didn't fit in. She said that at the school gates her mum didn't understand small talk and that sometimes she would be abrupt with people and tell them that they're talking nonsense. She went on to say that her mum was quite rigid with times of meals and also tidiness of the place. And sometimes if things didn't go to plan, she might have a meltdown like a toddler. She said that as a result of her mum's social difficulties, she didn't have any friends who were women and that her best friend was her mother. Her mum said, and I quote, "I can't think of anything worse than spending time with a group of women. They use a lot of words to talk about stuff that's not important before they ever get to the point." The daughter said that when her and her sister were teenagers, her mum found it difficult when they wouldn't stick to routines and left wet towels on the floor. Her mum also was upset when she didn't come home after being at Cambridge and moved to London instead. Her mum constantly put pressure on her to spend time with her, but her behaviour became very bizarre once the daughter was pregnant. She said that her mother became more and more anxious, insisted on coming to antenatal appointments with her, and after her baby was overdue, rang her every hour to find out whether she was in labour. After the baby was born, she came and picked the baby up and said thank God when she saw the baby. The lady's anxiety grew after her own mother died and she developed severe depression. This caused the father to become anxious as well. She said that her mother was obsessed with her physical health and that she'd tell anybody she met in graphic detail what she thought was wrong with her. She started phoning both daughters 3 or 4 times a day, making them anxious as well. And then when her father phoned her crying down the phone, she knew something was very bad and immediately came to the family home. She found her mother walking around in circles, panting and making strange whooping noises. She was diagnosed with generalised anxiety and depression, but following a fall was taken to hospital. Apparently the ward sister said to the daughter, "I've got to get this woman off my ward. She's driving me nuts." The daughter replied, and I quote, "You and me both. Can you get her an independent psychiatric assessment, please?" Following that, social services called her asking for her permission for her mother to be detained under the Mental Health Act and taken to psychiatric hospital, which she reluctantly agreed. She felt like she had failed, but there was no other option. She said that whilst her mother was in psychiatric hospital, her dad died and her mother became even more closed in. She eventually moved into a residential home. When her 2 daughters visited her, and this was a 4.5-hour round trip, after 10 minutes, their mother said to them, "You'd better go now." When the daughter asked the carer why her mother wanted her to leave so soon, she said that she thought that the mother was preempting their departure and wanted to get it over and done with as it would be painful when it happened. The daughter went on to say, and I quote, "Finally, after a lifetime of wondering and years of pushing, a psychologist was brought onto Mum's case. And after observing her and reading her notes, he asked us if we'd ever considered that she might be on the autistic spectrum." This diagnosis ran true with her daughter and said that everything made sense and that she fulfilled all the diagnostic criteria. The obsession with routines and timings, the social problems, the strange whoop whoop noises she repeatedly made when anxious, and her hatred of showers, which was sensory overload for her and had led her to stop washing in the residential home. The daughter said that the diagnosis of autism didn't bring in any help with the autism itself, but that her key worker had a son who was autistic and understood her needs. She then went on to speculate whether, if she had known that her mother was autistic earlier, whether it would have made any difference. She felt that having the diagnosis helped her carers to look after her at the end of her life. And she also thought that it might have helped her relationship with her mother, as she would have more understanding empathy for her strange behaviour. But she wasn't sure that her mum would have accepted the diagnosis. She said that her mum was always very scathing about, in quotes, labels, and could imagine her saying, and I quote, "I'm not the one with the problem, it's you that has it." The daughter is called Anna Wilson. She's written a book called A Place for Everything, and it's about her mother. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.